Graham Jason Matthews here, coming up next week into the Legacy Theater here in Connecticut. We got the Masters of Puppets play. Very excited for this as a wrestling fan myself. A lot of notable names involved in the play coming up next weekend, May 25th through the 27th, and pretty much throughout the month of May as well. Kurt Fuller, a part of this play, and Kurt, a big fan of your work. Very excited to be talking to you here today about Master Puppets and so much more. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and it's running until June 11th is our last night.
Yeah, all right, perfect. I think it's coming up on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, if I'm not...
Correct.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so there's a lot to look forward to here, and not just the fact that it's a play coming here to Connecticut, obviously, that alone is worth looking forward to, but this is a wrestling-themed play, just to kind of put that out there, which is crazy. As a wrestling fan myself, and again, as someone who has followed your work for a very long time now, it's kind of like my two worlds kind of colliding. So to see your name attached to this, I was very excited. And obviously for you as well, being involved in No Holds Barred 30-something years ago, coming back into the wrestling realm, it's kind of everything kind of going full circle, so to speak.
Ain't it the truth? I'm sort of began my career with No Holds Barred, and ending my career with Masters of Puppets, sort of... you never know when your last job is, and this would be a great one. But it's interesting because No Holds Barred, you mentioned that, it's like it was yesterday. I remember almost everything about that movie because there were so many huge characters, huge personalities involved that they were unforgettable. And I didn't know much about wrestling when I did it. And knowing more about wrestling now, Masters of Puppets, which is really, it uses the behind-the-scenes world of wrestling and all the characters involved as really sort of a study of love, power, and money, which is sort of what wrestling is anyway. And it's very funny and really entertaining. And wrestling fans and non-wrestling fans alike will relate to it. So I'm very excited to be doing it, and I'm still prepared to answer any questions also about No Holds Barred and Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon. I'm still open to that. I'm not too big to talk about my old days with the World Wrestling Federation.
Of course, no. I mean, like just doing all these different projects in between, starting No Holds Barred, kind of ending with Masters of Puppets, like you said. Was that part of the appeal in taking this role as part of this play and seeing, all right, I have some experience in this realm, or was it really just a different project you wanted to explore? Like, what was the appeal of this to you in addition to everything else you already mentioned?
Well, I have done since No Holds Barred. My God, I've never stopped.
Yeah.
So I took this more as a really interesting play, but I recognized so many things that rang true out of what I knew from being around Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan, and I mean the wrestlers at the time I worked with were huge. This is when they were selling out the Pontiac Silverdome, and all these guys who probably people don't remember or only know from reading about them or seeing old videos. This play makes it all come to life, and yet goes so far beyond it. So it really was both. It was a good question because it was really both things. I thought the play, which is new and different, and stands on its own, plus my experience and all the things it reminded me of, make it very interesting for me to be part of.
Yeah, and it's such a cool premise, like you said earlier as well, kind of like the in-depth look behind the curtain of pro wrestling. Like I say pro wrestling
really
play,
is.
yeah. And just kind of going off what you said, it's not just like, matches or whatever like that. It's about what really goes beyond the business. And, as a wrestling fan, not that I'm a wrestler myself, but I know a little bit about it. If you watch some documentaries, No Holds Barred, you can kind of see it a little bit, but not so much the money, the drama, some of the greed that goes into it. And this is going to cover...
Which is really all of it.
Yeah, it really is.
Money.
Yeah.
And for the wrestlers, it's all about money. I mean, it's just all about money.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
It's interesting, this is a dramatization, and I'm sure nothing is true, but everything could be true. the things that people do for money, it always amazes me. When you look at the world, and just everything, what people will do for money and sex, not so much love, but really what people will do for money and sex blows my mind.
Mm-hmm. And it hasn't changed either. I mean, we're talking like decades of the business and really just in life in general. But I mean, it's not like it's died down any since the 80s or 90s,
No, it has not. And I think, he sold his, I don't know what's called now, WWE, for $9 billion.
Mm-hmm.
That's an astronomical amount of money. An astronomical amount of money. It certainly wasn't worth that when I was doing this movie. It was just starting to get big, and it's just, and this is sort of, and I'm not playing Vince McMahon, but I'm playing, Vince McMahon, Ted Turner, Sumner Redstone, Donald Trump. I'm playing a combination of all these people who love money. That's what I'm playing. I think love money and power.
Yeah, and a lot of those people sound similar as well, so I'm very interested to see what the character is and what you can bring to the role, just in everything else you've done over the course of your career. I think you're the perfect fit for it. And in going
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And in going to a project like this, is there any sort of like homework that you have to do for it to kind of perfect the role, or are you just kind of go in there and do the best job that you can?
Well, with every project has homework. I mean, I did but I didn't just go back and study wrestling or check out. I just sort of I sort of done research on very powerful men who weren't quite as powerful as they thought they were. Because, these are great people who could have been great and could have had it all, who, they always get what's coming to them a little bit, and the character in this play does, but he survives. He's still going, and that happens. That these big people, big, powerful, ambitious people. It's hard. They won't let themselves be brought down. It's part of what makes them so successul. They find a way to survive, and I'm playing a guy who is pretty much the ultimate survivor. And it's a great quality. It's a quality I admire very much. And it's a quality I've had to have as an actor, and most actors have to have if you're going to do anything in the business, especially when you don't have your looks. When you don't have looks, you got to have something else. And, and so I sort of lived this type, but I appreciate this kind of drive that makes somebody uber successful.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting and funny person.
No, I love that. It's like a deep dive on that character analysis that really a lot of people we see in everyday life and business, and it's more than just a wrestling thing. Like you said, the Ted Turners, Vince McMahons, the Donald Trumps of the world, like these are things that kind of transcend wrestling in business, and you just see it in everyday life, whether it be a boss or whatever it might be. I think everyone is going to go to a play like this and really come away with it, not just with a deeper appreciation or understanding, rather, of the wrestling business, but just really resonating with characters such as yourself, which is why I feel like this is going to be such a success.
Well, thank you. I'm really... We're still rehearsing, and it's still growing. I can't wait to see what shape it finally takes. But I can say, you come and see it, you're going to have a good time. You're going to laugh, and you're going to see yourself in it. And if you're married, you're going to see yourself in it. And male and female, there's a very strong female character in it.
I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful actress.
Yeah, no, there's a wonderful cast of characters involved in the project. Like I said, your name's standing out to me, just having followed your career since No Holds Barred. But a lot of people involved. Yeah, absolutely. And just a lot of great notable names involved in this. Obviously not on the on-screen portion of it, but one of the masterminds behind the play itself, James Roday Rodriguez. Obviously someone you have a lot of history with as part of Psych. You being the corner on the show, Woody, one of my favorite roles on that show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, one of my favorite roles in my life. So.
Yeah, no, just he did a fantastic job of playing that role. Just talk about being of reunited with James as part of this project.
Well, we're reunited in a sort of a business sense, but James and I, and really all the people from Psych, have all remained very, very good friends.
Awesome.
And I have always talked to James, but we haven't done anything together. Like we did a play about 10 years ago, and when he approached me as this one, number one, James is a super smart, super talented, super creative guy. And I love that about him, and he's just a good friend at the same time. So for me, I'm almost 70 years old now. That's sort of, I'm not looking so much I'm looking for experiences and working with people I like and people who are interesting, and he fits the bill. And he's really smart, and he doesn't pick bad projects. So it's been fantastic. And
That's awesome.
Still, talk to him all the time.
That's super cool. Yeah, now just seeing the relationship you guys had in the show, the entire cast, obviously since the show ended almost 10 years ago, we've had the movies come out that you've been a part of. I mean, everyone's kind of been back on the same page, which is super cool to see. But I think on the subject of James, what's something that a lot of people I think don't realize, being a wrestling fan myself, I've seen it just through stuff that he's talked about. He's a wrestling fan as well, which is probably the inspiration for this project. I mean, there were so many wrestlers that actually guest starred on Psych that I think a lot of people forget about. I mean, did you have any interactions with those people? Like, I think the Big Show was on the show, John Cena was on the show at some point, or did you kind of stay away from those people?
No, I don't stay away from those people. I'm a wrestling fan. I love wrestling.
Yep.
I think it's fantastic. I think the world is fantastic, and I've always thought it was underrepresented because it's a fascinating, hilarious, and very, very serious venue. And these wrestlers, like Hulk used to say, they say wrestling is fake. Well, tell that to my broken body.
Yep.
These guys live and die for this sport. And James, I think he's attracted to the same thing I am, which is just the whole life of it. And when wrestlers came onto the show, and the wrestlers I worked with during No Holds Barred, they were all very, not when the camera's not on, they're very kind of not self-effacing, but there's a lot of humility. There's a lot of calmness. There's not a lot of bravado. They're just really kind of interesting, good people, because you have to play well with others when you're in the wrestling business. Yeah. 5 minutes, please. Okay, thank you. You have to play nice, and you count on the other people to not screw you up. So they're really very, very collaborative and good to hang out with.
Well, I love that you say that, too, because I feel like there's such a perception, even now, I mean, especially, years ago, but especially now, with the perception of wrestling and wrestlers, just like these dumb, jock, athletic-type people that don't really have much development beyond that, which is so far from the case. I mean, especially now in movies and whatnot, we have John Cena doing big roles, The Rock, but specifically, Dave Bautista just had success in Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think a lot of people don't really realize that. And I think this play is going to do a lot to change the perception of people that aren't fans or haven't been fans in a long time, to kind of see what actually goes on, the good, the bad, and the ugly, obviously, but come away.
And these guys are great businessmen, too.
Yeah.
I mean, great, and women, great business women, too.
Yeah.
They are smart, and they know what they're doing, and they know what they have to offer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, most definitely. I think we're going to see a lot of that in this play, and that kind of leads into my last question for you here, Kurt. Just talking about going from No Holds Barred to this play here, you talked about how you go into that first movie with a perception of what wrestling is and what it is now. You talked about being a fan over the last couple of decades and everything else that goes into it, not just the athleticism, but like the drama, the stuff behind the scenes, the business aspect. There's just so much that goes into it that draws people to become a fan of wrestling. But just talk about your own, just coming away from this play and doing it, rehearsing it, having a deeper, like I said earlier, appreciation or just understanding of what the business is and how it continues to grow and what it brings to the table.
Well, another really good question, because if I just thought of the guy I play, Victor Cragston, trying to keep this dream, this life that started with his father as really just a little mom and pop business and has grown into this behemoth. So much of himself. And I would think with Vince and anybody else who has built a company, so much of your identity is wrapped up in how it is and how it's perceived and what legacy you're going to leave, when you're gone. Mm-hmm. And it's really about validating your life and validating the life you've lived. Mm-hmm. And if wrestling fails, if this company fails, my character Victor has failed. Mm-hmm. His life is meaningless. So it's really a life and death struggle. And I think for Vince, it's been a life and death struggle. And I think selling it with all the drama and what an amazing, weird life he has lived. Mm-hmm. I think it's an exultant, fantastic moment for him to have. I think he hates to not be the head of the company anymore. Yeah, I'm sure that hurts him, but the value that has been placed on it has got to be very validating for him. That he built it and it's appreciated and it's valued for over $9 billion. That's quite an amazing thing. But it really, and this play is about how the company and the person are inseparable. Mm-hmm. They are the same. And that's really it.
No, I love that. I love the insight, especially since, like you said, it's so timely right now, especially with everything going on with Vince McMahon, the selling of the company, and just all the scandals and stuff that he was involved in last year. This play, without having seen it yet myself, I feel like will perfectly encapsulate what everything has been going on, all this stuff, and just how timely it is. I love it. I'm looking forward to being there next Saturday to go see it. Like I said, the Legacy Theater in Branford, starting May 25th. It's going to be running.
Very nice theater, by the way.
It is,
very comfortable,
Yeah, no, it's a great area over there. It's not too far from me at all. So I was very excited to see not only that you were going to be doing a play here in the area, but that it was wrestling themed. Again, all my worlds just kind of colliding here, being a massive Psych fan, wrestling fan, No Holds Barred fan. Great stuff. Going to be running from May 25th through June 11th, as you said. Couple of weeks, people have the chance to go check it out. It's fantastic. Like I said,
I hope so. Stop by and say hello.
Oh, most definitely will. I'm looking forward to it. I actually became a Psych fan first and then a wrestling fan because Psych aired on USA. So without Psych, I don't think I would even be a wrestling fan today with the work that you guys did on Psych. And I don't think I would even be watching wrestling, so I have you to thank for that.
I'll tell Roday you said that.
Thank you, Kurt, and appreciate all the work you've done over the years. I'm looking forward to the part you play in the play.
Thanks so much.